Hi, I'm Eric Linask here at Cloud Expo. I'm talking with Jennifer Walzer from BUMI. Jennifer, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Eric.
So a lot of exciting things going on around cloud. What are some of the trends that are driving your business?
Sure, I think there are a number of trends right now that are definitely driving my business. One is compliance, with FINRA and the SEC requiring more structured rules around data protection. That's become a really big win for us because that's our expertise. I think the whole need of the right data protection, I think that CTOs are realizing that they don't really have the in-house expertise, and with data growing out of control and with technology just getting so complicated, they really do need to look to experts, and the idea of outsourcing it is a very cost-effective and actually a better approach to solving that problem.
Well, that's been one of the great drivers of cloud, isn't it? What's the difference between backup and recovery?
Oh, very big difference. And I'm glad you brought that up, Eric, because a lot of people think that if they're just backed up, they're okay. You really need to think about the recovery first, because it's one thing to say, oh sure, I'm backed up, but another thing to say, sure, I can actually recover that data. And the other question is, how quickly can I recover that data? So what we always recommend to our clients is don't think about backup. Let's first work backwards. Think about the recovery strategy first. What's most important to your business? What needs to get restored first? And walk them through the process that way. It's extremely important, and it's quite different one from the other.
How much education on your part has to go into it when you're dealing with your customers and explaining the difference and explaining what their needs may be?
I think that, education is definitely important. I think that just having a conversation with our clients and trying to understand their challenges, I think clients know what they don't know, but they don't know where to start. That's their biggest issue. It's not that they don't understand, it's just they don't know where to start. I think when it comes to data continuity and business continuity, it's a very big, crazy subject, and they don't usually want to think about it, but unfortunately they need to, and so we try to walk them through it and handhold them every step of the way so that they don't have to think about it and know that they're getting obsessive customer support from us.
So when people start looking at and building out their backup and recovery strategies, do they put everything in the cloud? Do they keep copies on site as well?
I think it's important that you do both regardless. It depends also on, that's a really good point, because people will say, okay, what do I want to put in the cloud? I think most importantly is, okay, how quickly do you need to get the data back? What's important to you in terms of performance? Because if you're just putting your data in the cloud, not just from a backup perspective, but from an ongoing, just as a service, software as a service, you want to make sure that the performance is there. So when it comes to backup and recovery, though, I'm a big believer that you should back up offsite into another location and also have it local. I can tell you in our own experience, I've been in business for almost 11 years, and when Hurricane Sandy came along, we had 35 feet of seawater in our own office building. And even though we had a local backup, it didn't matter because we couldn't get back into our office for 2.5 months. Thank God we had our data off-site, and we actually have a service called BUMI Cloud Recovery that we implemented, that we have for our clients, that we sell to our clients, but we actually utilize for ourselves, which allowed us to bring up our whole environment in one of our data centers very quickly so we can continue working. So you definitely want to have your data in both places depending on what the issue is, because if it's a local issue, you can do fast restores from a local-only basis.
Talk about drinking your own Kool-Aid.
Oh yeah, we definitely have drunk it, no question about it. We're our perfect client success story.
What do you find is wrong with most people's backup or disaster recovery planning?
What do I find wrong? I think there's a few things I find wrong. One is that when they just do a set it and forget it mindset where they just say, hey, I've backed it up, I'm okay. I think another big thing is that because data is exploding, that they're just backing up everything the same. They're not thinking about what really needs to get recovered first and tiering their data and maybe archiving data that's no longer changing. Because if you try to recover all that data back up at once, you're going to get caught. I think not doing enough DR drills, because as technology is becoming more complicated, as organizations are adding virtualization and doing all these new great technologies, no one's necessarily thinking about, how am I going to recover that quickly? And running the actual DR drills. They're just assuming, oh yeah, someone else did it once, in another organization, they said it wasn't that bad. That's where they get caught.
On a more general level, do you think that there's an impact on how people feel about the cloud based on some of the privacy concerns that are coming out now that we're hearing what the NSA may or may not be doing?
Yeah, the NSA, good old NSA. do I think that it's an issue out there as far as what their concerns are? It's funny. When I first started the business in 2002, security was everything. People were so scared about keeping their data offsite. Now the question isn't at all about about the security. However, it is important because you really have to make sure that your data is being protected both at rest and in transit. But I don't see people having so much concern as they used to. I mean, it is a concern, but from my perspective as a business owner and someone who's been in this industry for 19 years and having my company for 11, it's not in the forefront as much as it is in the past. They just want to make sure that they can get ease of access to it, more importantly.
What can we look forward to from BUMI next?
A lot. There's a lot that we're looking forward to. I mean, one of the things that we recently implemented that's been a really hot area for our clients is the ability to put a storage appliance on our clients' network. For companies that have a lot of data, they want to have their data backed up, but they don't necessarily maybe want to back it up to our data centers, so where we can back it up to their own data centers. Or maybe they want to do a hybrid approach where we can back it up to one of their own data centers and to one of our data centers. That's really where the trend is the idea to have that storage appliance where they can have it on a local-only basis, fast restores. That's where the trend is, and that's where we're seeing a really hot growth area.
Excellent. Jennifer, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
I'm Eric Lanask with TMC. Follow all of our coverage from Cloud Expo in the TMC Video Newsroom.